Hi, Happy New Year from FinGig.Pro and welcome to Expert Solutions. We are excited to introduce Expert Solutions, our short video series. As we embark in our second year, FinGig.Pro is expanding its presence, relevance to CEOs under the mission of solving for the CEO. Through this podcast style series, we aim to connect our fascinating experts with our growing community to explore contemporary challenges faced by CEOs and CXOs alike. Our format is simple yet engaging. We ask our experts some questions and present their insights in short, easy to watch videos. For our very first episode, we are delighted to welcome Mr. Urvik Kumar Patel to the hot seat. Mr. Urvik Kumar Patel is the Managing Director of ESG Solutions at Finsight Global Consulting based out of Hong Kong. If I were to list out all his accomplishments, we'd need another entire episode. To summarize, Urvik brings 18 years of experience in developing, implementing sustainable solutions across diverse range of sectors, including oil, textiles, and hospitality. He has extensive expertise in project management, particularly in Gulf countries and in India. Having worked with over 300 SMEs, Ulrich holds a PhD from Sardar Patel University and specializes in the E and the S of the ESG with a focus on water stewardship programs and designing architecture to achieve net zero targets. His deep knowledge and practical insights make him the perfect guest to kick off our series. In today's podcast, I'll keep it short, simple. So, straight away, if Urvik, we are ready, welcome once again. Let's get started with the first question. Urvik, from a common man's perspective, how would you define ESG? And more importantly, how does it impact banks and financial services, particularly in regions like UAE, Africa, and India? Over to you, Urvik.
Thank you, Alok, and FinGig for having me on your podcast. And so let me start by explaining what ESG stands for. So ESG is a short form for environment, social, and governance. And this has become a critical part of multiple frameworks under which businesses around the world are using it to enhance their business capabilities. Let's talk about the environmental aspect. I'll stick to the Middle East and the Asia region in particular for giving context as to why it is important. In the Middle East, environment consists mostly of water scarcity, air pollution, impacts from the climate change. As countries in the region diversify their economies away from oil dependency, there's a growing recognition of the need for sustainable practices. Companies that prioritize environmental responsibility do not only contribute to the health of the planet, but also position themselves favorably in the market where it increases their value. For instance, initiatives like Arabia's Vision 2030 or UAE's Green Agenda are driving investments in renewable energy, and companies that take advantage of this position themselves much better in the market. Talking about social, the Asian regions are seeing a demographic shift with the young and increasingly educated populations. They're asking for better labor practices, gender equality, and community engagement. Businesses that embrace in social responsibility can enhance their reputation, attract better talents, and build stronger relationships with their stakeholders. This is particularly important where social dynamics are constantly evolving. Governance. Governance is basically how a company runs itself and how it can show its stakeholders that the governance is solid, right? So this is very good for installing a lot of confidence in investors who want to invest into these companies. You see, how good is that investor or that company? So basically, in summary, if I put it down, sustainable growth on behalf of corporate reputation is dependent on ESG practices that will constantly evolve and help the companies grow better and faster.
Super. Thank you. Thank you, Rick. I'll come to the next question very quickly. What, as per you, are the top three things banks and financial services in the UAE, in Africa, and in India should focus on to get their ESG policies right?
Yep. So banks are in the midst of the ESG phenomenon. Basically, banks are the intermediaries between the policies that are governed by social requirements or regulatory requirements and the growth of the company. So, how do the banks get impacted? Firstly, there's enhanced risk management that has to be considered for the banks. With growing environmental concerns and social requirements that are coming in, reputational and regulatory governance requirements that are coming in, the banks will have to mitigate potential risks that could arise from this. That can be either physical risks or transitional risks, and manage their assets much better. There are investment opportunities for the banks, especially with the abundant policies that are coming out with green financing requirements for green infrastructure. And then the lastly would be reputation and compliance. Alignment of ESG standards is crucial for maintaining strong reputation, not only for the companies, but also for the banks, and ensuring regulatory compliance. By proactively adopting ESG practices, banks can enhance their credibility and trustworthiness among stakeholders. This not only helps the banks, but also their customers to show that there is some overwatch over those companies, apart from regulatory bodies as well.
Lovely. That's quite a bit. Thanks a lot, Urvik, for putting in those insights. I guess I'll just come to the maybe the last question. How will our clients, our expanding clients, benefit from associating and working with us? Urvik, if you could just give a couple of points for that.
Sure. FinSight Global Consulting has a lot of expertise in automation processes, comprehensive risk management, and integration of risk models and analysis insights. So, let me talk a little bit about automation processes. So, any organization or bank that has evolved over the years would have their own processes. So, with the growing number of regulations and multi jurisdictional requirements that are creeping in, the cost of operations is being driven up. We help with automating a lot of mundane processes and making sure compliance management is being adhered to. That brings me to my second point, comprehensive risk management. Over the years, with the growing number of regulatory asks, a lot of the banks have migrated involuntarily or being forced into a triage position. And we help them bring them back into comprehensive risk management, where they can assure better services not only for their customers, but also meet all regulatory requirements. And thirdly, the team that deals with risk models and analysis, and we can help with banks evolve their risk models to meet regulatory requirements and have a better perspective into their future targets.
Super. Uh, Thank you, Urvik, for sharing your valuable insights. It's clear there is a lot to learn and a lot to do, and your expertise will certainly help our CXOs and CEOs alike to meet their organizational challenges head on. We look forward to exploring such and many more such impactful topics in the future episodes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I hope we get some good feedback from you. You use the feedback and move on to many, many more such impactful, insightful discussions. Goodbye and Happy New Year.
Thank you.